So let's set the stage for a minute just to put this question into perspective. So let's say you've been working out for about a month now, maybe a couple of months even, and you haven't lost any weight. You're trying not to be down about it because you know logically that it's not about the number. But even still, when you look in the mirror, you don't like what you see. Um, you expected to have some changes at this point, to see some changes at this point, and you're having a hard time coming to terms, again, with what you see in the mirror. And so how do you embrace yourself the way that you are right now when you are already struggling with the idea that you have to be thin to be considered or thought of as sexy or beautiful? How do you do that? How do you embrace where you are right now and still feel good about yourself, right? Because really that's what we want. We want to feel okay and comfortable in our skin the way that we are right now. We don't want to have to wait for it. We want it now. So the first thing, anytime that you're working out, especially if you're taking a more moderate approach with it, if you're making slower changes, doing something like strength training, which is a slower progression physically, it is going to take time. And so you may not see it within that first month. If you do before and after pictures, you might be able to notice it, or you may still struggle with it. It might actually be easier for other people to see it in your before and after photos. But not all of us want to do that. We don't always want to take the before and after photos, and you don't really need the photos to feel better about yourself right now. So the first thing, focus on all of the other ways that you have been changing. So have you gotten stronger? Has your endurance improved? Do you remember where you were when you first started compared to where you are right now? What about your energy levels? Do you have more energy to get through your day? What about your sleep? Are you sleeping better at night? How are your moods? Are your moods more stable? Are they more consistent? Those are the kinds of markers that I would look for that go way beyond a number on a scale, a number on a measuring tape, or anything that you're going to see in front of the mirror, right? It's a lot of that is more feeling based. So that's number one. Now, the funny thing about getting more into the feeling aspect of it is that's automatically going to put you more in your femininity. And so as you tap into how you feel in any given moment, you're tapping into your femininity, and you're going to shift how you feel about yourself internally. And as you feel more comfortable with yourself internally, that starts to become expressed through your personality, your facial expressions, the sound of your voice, all sorts of things. And so it's not about being a certain size. It's not about, how much makeup you're wearing. If you like makeup, that's fine. I like makeup, but it's not important, right? That's not what makes you actually feminine. So the femininity comes through from how you embrace yourself. And that's beautiful. So that would be the first thing, right? So you're going to get in touch with, where am I now and where was I before? And you're going to look for progress through other markers that aren't so based on how you look, more based on how you feel inside yourself. The other thing that I would say is, are you doing something new? Are you getting outside of your comfort zone? Because if you're doing that, that's a significant accomplishment. And as long as you're consistent and you keep showing up for yourself, even if it's just in a small way, like a 5-minute high intensity interval training 5 days a week. It could be that small starting out. Or maybe it's a 30-minute strength training session 3 days a week. It can be that small, but if you stick with it, you will see changes. You have to be more patient, but that's another quality that's worth celebrating, right? That's worth acknowledging as something that's actually changed in you that can help you embrace where you are right now. And then over time, gradually through the consistency, you will start to see physical changes. But the part that I think is really cool is that once you start focusing not on your image, but really on how you feel, like your strength, like your endurance, like your energy, your moods, your sleep, when that becomes the focus, then obviously how you look becomes less important to you. But it's really interesting. It's almost like since it stops being the focus point, things change more easily because you become more open to doing the things that you need to do to get results. Because when we're so fixated on how we look, it makes it really hard to move forward because all we can do is think about what are people going to think about me. And we get so fixated on what they're thinking about us that it prevents us from doing the things that we need to do to actually see results. So for example, gym anxiety, really common with women, especially when you haven't been there in a long time and you feel like you're out of shape, or maybe you feel like you don't belong there, which isn't true. If you want to take care of yourself, you belong there. But the point, where was I going with this? I tend to talk in circles. But my point is that, with gym anxiety, if you let the idea of what other people are going to think about you, how they are going to see you, if you let that affect you, you're not going to get in there and do the thing that you need to do to see the results. So that's where letting go of the image and actually focusing on the feelings and the other markers, the other physical markers, like, your moods, your sleep, obviously the food that you eat is going to have an impact too. It's not all about exercise. A lot of it is actually the food that you eat. So that's how you can start embracing where you are right now. It's a big shift to make if you are someone who's been struggling with your body image for a long time, but it's one that will have really, really, really big payoffs. So good luck. Keep at it. Just be consistent. Show up in the smallest way for yourself until it's comfortable, and then add something new.